Help! I've been tossed overboard.
I'll have to bill you extra for my time.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is.
Is that a poppy seed? You realize I'm your P.O., right? Straight to booking!
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your...
Yo, 100K gone. You thought it stayed quiet, huh? 2G in the chat like. Run that map, 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 run that map. You flash fake racks on the timeline. Kept us at check, but it with grind time. 100 bands raised, 100 bands off. You the touch to the halo with a cross. 56K from an angel in the comments. Heart full of faith, you turned to the profit. Screenshot saved, every promise, every pledge. Bank statement singing when you tweeting off the edge. You ain't built for the smoke, you invited. Try to play God, now the numbers indicted. Seems like razors cut through the myth. Whole squad looking like an organized grift. 56K from a donor thief. 100K gone, a stolen dream. Gotta stay dark, but the neck got teeth. Now you mean and you clip, and you caught on stream. That umbrella guy, call it out on screen. Yeah, we see you, we see you. You prayed on the pain, turned trauma to a token. Each side story just a tool you were holding. Help the cause, every line pre-written, but the cause was your closet in the car you sitting in. You love weak links, hunt them in the thread. Baby, I care while you strip their bread. 56K from one, that's a life in Ash. Your bar drip, that by time they'll never get back. That means get your face with a clown crown clips on repeat when the lies all fall down. To a G on the mic, every chart, every slide broke down a breakdown, let the numbers collide. You can't hide from the playback, you can't scrub with the chat track. Every blast you turn backhand, every trust me now backfire. You ain't a boss, you a book, mark, held on the page where the fraud start. Whole damn mark in a thread in the chart, history written in the sidebar remarks. 56K from a donor thief, 100K gone, it's a stolen dream. Gotta stay dark, but the neck got teeth. Now you mean, now you clip, now you caught on stream. 56K from a donor thief. 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 Run that map, 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 run that map.
What's up, folks? How's it going? For a minute, that didn't want to switch over. That was really weird. Man, today has been absolute insanity. You know, God, every time I thought, man, you know, I know what we're going to cover today. Something else crazier would pop off. And I mean, it has been absolutely wild. We have a brand new filing today, which is essentially damage control incarnate, it looks like. We have what I'm going to say is a massive, massive mistake as far as the protective order is concerned. And of course, on top of that, we have something else, something kind of amazing. And that's going to be part of bankruptcy. Man, I'm telling you, I don't even know where to start today. It has been so wild. Now, people have been asking too about Megan. It is a Megan day to kick off. Well, she's had a lot going on. I don't like talking about other people's stuff. She has talked, though, about all the stuff that has been going on with her family-wise and stuff. So, sometimes you have to prioritize, and it's always family first. So she is supposed to be back with us tomorrow. She should be over here tomorrow. So, let's all again, send her some love and support, because it has been, well, I mean, all this stuff has been a wild freaking ride. But that does put us over here tonight. And like I said, we have plenty to go over. I hope everybody has had a great one today as well, kicking off a brand new week. I mean, I cannot believe it is already February, and I also can't believe some of the stupid that we have kicking off today. I mean, here, let's talk about a couple of the things, just giving you ideas. Like, for example, there was a post today by Shara. Now, this post, at first, when I looked at it, I didn't realize how crazy this was until I really looked at everything on it. Give me a second, I get a drink. But when I really looked closer, I was like, oh my God. So this post here, which we are going to look over, it came with a screenshot. Now, the screenshot, a lot of people have had problems looking at the screenshot, and I think that's kind of minimized some people's reactions to it, because when they look at it, they don't realize how crazy what this is here. So I'm going to take the screenshot by itself. I'm going to blow it up for you, and I'm going to show you something that is just insane. I mean, absolutely insane. I can't believe this here. I mean, you talk about this is just beyond the pale when you're talking about, say, a protective order, for example. With protective orders aren't just for you. They they surround the people that you care about. No matter what other idiots say about them online, that would include, not just you, workers and stuff, but also this little thing that we call family, right? So this is nuts. I don't even know where to begin with this. Let me, I guess the best way to describe how this comes up. First, let me tell you a little how all this stuff comes together, and then I'll show you this screenshot, okay? So we talked the other day about, let me pull up I Watch So You Don't Have To, so I can give some love to somebody, make sure that you already are following them, but also they can break you down on how we get to this place, because it's insane, and you need to understand the context to this to understand how crazy it is. So the other day, 2L ends up deleting a live stream, all but 43 seconds of it. Now, why does that happen? Well, it happens because 2L decided to read a message on her live stream where she talked about Jeremy's kid. On there, here, it talks about it right here, At about 1:30 a.m. or so, the flea begins reading a troubling message that she received from an Adam Prince 3350. Now, the sender, according to the Fats, in the aftermath, it's a Hale support. No. Obviously, this is some whack job over on the other side of this mess that is trying to instigate. And they were part of it too. So they say that Hale's son has been involved in a troubling and violent pew pew incident with 2 FBI agents where 2 people end up getting pew pewed and ended, let's say. Now, it's all false, of course, all of it, all false. They end up noting this, though, and they know it's pretty bad, right? That they've said this out loud. So they try to do damage control live, but also they end up deleting their entire stream almost, except for 43 seconds. Okay. Well, this causes Hale's kid to put up a post about it. All right. Puts up a post saying, you know, all of this is insane. And I'm going to read again. It won't have their, I do like that Shara took their account name off, and it's a little blurry. I apologize, but we're blowing up that little post there, right? But there's a point to this, okay? So you can see in the post and say, okay, it's been a while, but I'm back just to say it has come to my attention that someone apparently started a rumor that I'd been shot at. No idea who started it or why, but if you've heard it and are worried at all, just to let you know, it isn't true and I'm completely fine. Huh. Okay, now again, this is Jeremy's kid here. So now he has a protective order. Now you understand, with a protective order, certain people are supposed to stay the fuck away from him. They're supposed to not, you know, harass, make him concerned. One of the things that would probably make him really concerned is if the pieces of shit that you have a protective order against, if both of them are in the comments section of this thing that has been started by folks that they brought into this mess to begin with. They're both sitting there in the comments section. Like, this is insane. You see John Cook and you see Preston right there. And it doesn't matter what they say. The point is, these people started this insane rumor. I mean, it floors me that they can't understand. Stay the fuck away from protected people and anyone that surrounds them. No matter what you think about their relationship or anything else, this is his family, and you are not allowed to mess with them. God, how much clearer does that need to be made? It's insane. So when Shiara put this up, like, first, you know, like I said, when you blow it up, it's really hard to see on, this isn't her fault because she's catching the whole thing, you know, showing it. But I mean, it's awful. Don't believe it for 1 minute. I just hope life's treating you good. John Cook is such a piece of shit. You talked about this guy, this person's father. You talked about pew-pewing them and feeding them to alligators and stalking them and stuff. What the hell? And freaking Preston. Oh, God bless you and your family. I'm sorry for all you've gone through. Piece of garbage, dude. I swear to God. Like, this will be in a protective order. This will be in that hearing. It does not matter, like I said, estrangement, anything else. You know better. How in the world do you not know better? Oh, my God, both of them. I mean, this is some stalker-ass stuff, man. It's absolute lunacy. They are not friends. These people went in and tried to get his kid to do harm so they could spread vile fucking rumors around. They have a protective order against them. I don't know how to make that any clearer. Now we'll look at the stuff that Shara says in her post with it. But like I said, I wanted to point this out because I really wanted to emphasize the point that there are no boundaries with these people. And they sit around and they fuss and whine and try to weaponize a child all the time. And yet this is somebody else's child. And what are they doing? Acting like, oh man, I care about you. Oh, garbage human beings. Yeah, you care, all right. You care, all right. God, I mean, it's awful. You know, and nothing, like I said, you know, I hate it like these people, they already caused this insane rumor, which by itself is a problem. They damage control off of it. Then when the person feels like they have to make a statement, these same people come in like they're like your friends, again. Ugh. And Hales has to worry about, well, what these people will do. You have no idea what they will do. I mean, but this clearly is out of bounds with a protective order. Oh my God. That's nuts. Yes, exactly. I believe this. It's all mind games. It's all mind games. Well, it's to punish. It's to make Hales feel isolated, alone, and worry and everything else. And I mean, they unfortunately they do a good job of that, as far as punishing people, as far as making them feel isolated and making them feel like they stand alone, even though obviously they don't stand alone. Still, when you're looking at a situation like that, how else can you feel? When I saw that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. So, I mean, props to Shara for like posting that and noting that. But good Lord. Now, on top of today, too, there's something else. And this is a really funny subject. Now, I'm going to show you a short. And I'm going to clarify some stuff on this, okay? Because I think there needs to be clarification with this, like what is needed, all right? Because there was a short from Hale's talking about the bankruptcy update, and this is very interesting. You have the fats out there saying, "Oh, there's nothing against me out there. You can't tie me into no money." Oh, so let's talk about this. Now, this is wow. Go give it a whirl too. Go make sure you give it a play. But I want to, like I said, go through and just clarify a little bit on something here because of what it asks for. So check this out.
Bankruptcy court lawyers will be subpoenaing all of Felisa's financial records, everything, and are requiring that we give proof of all assets that have been given to her, moved to her. So we need your help. Yep, there's hours upon hours. I mean, we're talking thousands, not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of hours of live streams. And I don't watch them. I just got them for evidence. What they want is the clips where Felisa's talking about the money, the amount of money, and they're going to go after it. She's the first to be deposed. They're going after every single account. If you know about her Cash App, if you know about her Ko-Fi, if you have the links to anything, please forward everything to us at their request, and we will send it on to them. All evidence of all funding with Felisa on behalf of Lynette, Harley Grace, and John Crook. The same goes for Deuce, Bruce Maskin. Send all evidence. We'll forward it on. If you gave money, if you gave physical items or gifts, whether it's for the flea market or for personal, we need that information. Well, we don't need it. Federal court does. There are criminal charges coming. Bankruptcy.
Okay, now with this, let's be a little clear on something first of all. Okay, there are a lot of very helpful people, just to note this, but with that, if you're going to mail over something, it needs to be something that is concise. Hales already has every video talking about live streams and more, but when you're thinking about fishing through all of that, I mean, that's a lot. So I know some people will send like a link to like a live stream and be like, "Hey, it's talked about in here." Well, some of these things are, best case scenario, they're 3 hours and some of them are 6. If you know that it's talked about, clip it, or, take something and note exactly what's said and what the timestamp is. That way, you can link it if you don't know how to clip, but make something again that is like It's a very concise, that's the key word, clip, or a concise transcript, noting back again what it comes from. That it shows the fence, it shows the barn, it talks about Christmas, all of this stuff that again ties in to 2L, especially something that can be easily handed over and will already be ready made for evidence. That's where it's helpful because, I know when people are going at me and not to say you're not being helpful with stuff, but, lawyers are not going to spend that much time going through something. Judges wouldn't either. What they need is, again, they want something that is easy, ready made. And again, they already have all of this in raw form, raw data, but they may be missing something or they may not know it's there. So if you want to be helpful in that, and that also includes things like the flea market. If you're talking about things that are coming up, remember she listed nothing. Like there were also with Lynette Preston too. She listed nothing herself. So when she's listing sales, but on top of it, when these people are talking about, money that they spent. Now 2L is I'm going to show you a post today because it's so redonkulous. And you got to remember too, on top of that, Lynette Preston herself has talked about this, which we'll play a couple of those things again just to tie it in, just to remind 2L. But donations, anything, because nothing was declared. Nothing. So again, don't just, if there's something you're like, man, that's helpful, don't just send over a link, and be like, it's in this live stream. They talk about money or a link, and make sure, again, it's noted because, on top of it, they're working. They have to pay for all of this stuff that's going on. And it's a lot. It's quite a bit. But with the new appointment, what was stated is that Lisa would be subpoenaed first. And they're going to depose her first. Now, she wants to be coy about this, so it'll be real fun for her to run right into her own damn words, and the receipts too, because again, she wants to pretend there are no receipts. Well, I mean, there's simple receipts like, the Only Me stuff. First of all, the Only Me stuff is very, very easy to prove. It isn't just his statements on the left, her statements on the right, but she talked about, when the money came up, she actually talked about the totals. She talked about the $56,000. She said that. And Only Me, when he's discussed this plenty of times, by the way, he utilized discussion about donation. Only Me donated $56K to Preston's, I mean, you can see this over and over again that he hammered down, and they confirmed. There are confirmation discussions. See, early on, this is why I tried to keep every single discussion about the $56,000 because early on when they were talking about it, she was very loose-lipped about it. She kept throwing around discussion, and she would say things like, when people were like, oh, what exactly has he said? She would be like, no. He sent a lot. Are we supposed to just take his word? Oh, no, he did. He sent a lot. So, because they thought they could get more out of him. And this is during the arguments about all of that, and like I said, there are plenty of times when she was throwing her fit, saying like, show us your receipts, which was happening, stuff like, oh, Robbie, hey, what did you spend your money on, Dave? On top of that, like I said, she was she was noting the term, and she actually talks about $56,000. She screws up big time because she says the $56K was not just for the barn. It was for the fence, for Holly Jolly Christmas, the barn. Whoops. Oh, you got to admit that's pretty awesome, right? That's why you keep receipts, because some random shit like this ends up being a gold mine, right? So her own words, she's like, "Oh, you did give $56,000, sir." Holy crap! Oh, that keeps the receipts. Yeah, that's why you keep them, baby. That's why you keep them. I keep saying, these receipts, they were going to be instrumental later on. And these idiots, their own words would doom them. Oh my God, such idiots. So check this out. They posted about this today because they think they're just going to be able to go in there and be like, "Oh no, this stuff." Yeah, and they were never given any money. Actually, I'm a creditor. I'm a creditor. Oh, shit. Okay, here. Check this out here. I love it. By the way, if you enjoy this content today, if you want to help out, tell people we're live because Megan was not, again, this is usually her day. She's had a lot going on. So again, love to her. I thought, me, man, I don't like to take days off ever. I just don't ever. I have to be in a pretty bad way to ever not be online, because it's a habit. I've been doing this for fucking 8 years solid almost, like that. So I went today, but a lot of people might not know in there. So first of all, Megan posted, give your love to her, but tell people we are live because people may be confused. On top of that, like, comment on stuff. And if you'd like to go further, send ye old breadsticks. Address ye old breadsticks to making fun of the fats today because boy, oh boy, it looks like they're going to have some problems. So they posted about this, and they were like, "Oh my God, ha 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 ha, don't fall for the lies and the bullshit spewed here. If he had evidence, he wouldn't be asking." Oh my God, dude. There's been evidence that has been shared since 2024, you moron. There absolutely is. Plus, if you really want to get frisky about it, well, there's also, again, Lynette Preston talked out of school about everything. Lynette Preston puts you in the jack. I mean, she absolutely did. Look, I mean, really, like I said, listen to some of this crazy shit. Again, it becomes very valuable. And they've said this isn't real, but I think a court will find this really interesting. Again, Lynette Preston, what do you have to say? He gave $56,000 for sure. That is a legit number.
Seeing when John and I asked Lisa over and over, can you please tell us how much money was donated?
How much money was donated, you say? How? What? You mean there was donated money? And you know what's crazy is 2L. Now, this answer is going to be really wild because it sounds like 2L has already been planning to shield this money and never be clear about it. You don't need to know how much for your own good.
I'm getting emotional. I don't normally do that. She told us that it was none of our business, that it was better that we don't know, so that, I don't know why she didn't want us to know, but she said it was better that we do not know. Oh. And we asked her over and over. When Christmas hit and she started doing the Christmas for Harley, we talked to her about, we really need to get this done. The next project is framing. If we don't get the framing done, the permit's going to expire and we're going to have to start over. And she said, well, let's get through Christmas. We're okay. We got through Christmas. And she said, well, New Year's is here. Let's get through New Year's. She said, I've got somebody to do it. I'll have him get a hold of you. We waited and waited, and I have several devices here.
Now, the reason I'm playing this, by the way, like I said, I really want you to see this is just a piece of everything. Okay, for them to say that there's no proof out there that there was money or anything else. Holy shit! This is. I mean, Lynette's sitting here wanting to put her in jail for stealing her money.
That I've taken screenshots on, but my baby likes to rip the cords out of stuff, so she makes it hard for us to charge things. So I'm trying to get these things running so I can get the screenshots and print them. I begged her with words that said, I am on my knees with my heart in my hand. Please don't let our permit wear out. Please get this guy to do it. She said, I've got it. Don't worry about it. So we gave our plans, the blueprints, to some guy that asked us, came and got him. Supposedly it was her friend, an islander. We gave them to him. 2 weeks later, the plans were back on our fence, and he said, I can't do it. So, okay, she didn't have anyone to do it. John found a Mexican crew. I don't mean to make the Mexican a thing. He found a Mexican crew that said they would do it for $10,000. We told Lisa, we have a crew. They'll do it. The weekend, it's done. Pay them. We're good. No. I've got somebody to do it. That's too much money. That'll leave you with nothing. We're like, please, will you just let them do it? Please, just at least the framing will be done. We get another 180 days. Let's just do it. Nope, not going to do it. She refused. So then I found a construction company. Anybody can vet it, called Thicket Construction. They're in Chiefland. I called him. I talked to him. I said, can you help us? He said, ma'am, it'll be way too expensive. I build brand new homes. But I'm willing to be a consultant. And if you guys want to build yourself, I'll help you. I'll tell you what you need to do, what material you need, but it's $250 an hour. So I gave that information to Lisa. She said no, nothing. Nope, not going to do it. She had somebody, that was it. The permit date came. I said, Lisa, please. And the permit expired. Well, then I begged Levy County. I said, Bo at Levy County, I said, please give us our permit back. I gave Lisa his information. Lisa told me she called him and that she talked to Bo at Levy County permitting and zoning and that he told her, don't worry about it. You've got all the time in the world. No worries. It's a lie. She never spoke to him. So I told her, Bo got back with me and he said, I talked to the Bronson board. So this was a board meeting, again, can be vetted. The board decided to allow him to offer us back the permit if we hired an engineer. So he gave me a list. I went through the list. I only found one that was willing to work with us. His name is, I don't want to give it. I will if I have to. It might upset him. But his name is Michael. And he said, no problem. It's $2,500. I'll do all of your inspections. I'll do what Bo wants. I know him very well. We'll work together. We'll get this done. So we gave Lisa that information. And again, I begged her. My heart is in my hands. Please, please pay him. Call him. So she called Mr. W one time. He called her back because she got his voicemail. He called her back. He got her voicemail, and then nothing. She wouldn't take any calls, and she didn't call him back. And we all of a sudden start hearing that I am an ungrateful, evil person who didn't have any thoughtfulness or thankfulness or whatever for anything she did. And that I was cutting her down online and that trolls told her that. And I said, Lisa, for the love of God, you sound like Shara. You're doing it. You're saying exactly what Shara said. The trolls told you I'm talking shit about you, therefore I am. That's a lie. I haven't said a word about you. We loved you. My little girl loves you.
Huh, well, that's weird, isn't it? Man, there's no evidence, though, of money or talking about how she won't turn the fucking money over or, oh my God, there's a lot more. That's just one little block of conversations, baby. So, trying to tell people there ain't shit, you crazy. You are crazy. Lynette Preston sold you out. That's just straight up. She fucking sold you out. So all this joke about how they're creditors, there was no money, no. No. I'm gonna cut every piece out of that needs to be utilized, and I'm gonna send that over to the bankruptcy. And if they want to talk, I'm happy to talk to them. Because this ain't fucking online here. She decided that she wanted to speak to a journalist about recouping what, well, according to Lisa, again, we have verified proof, $56,000. We have it from the source themselves as they complained about it. I have emails from them as well, which I will turn over. And we have Preston talking about money. But we also had her talking about how people had given for double that. So that's where the 100,000 plus comes from. And that is Preston's money. You can play games all day long and pretend that you're a fucking creditor that lent her money. No, you've been sitting on her money. You didn't release it. And now, even if you did now, I mean, it's all, you guys put it in the jackpot. There is no recuperating from it. Preston, you should have gone with my alternative. I told you how you could have came out of this with money and everything else. And yeah, if there was any money left, I told you exactly how you could do that. But again, if somebody would be so kind, is to go through, note the accounts that are being listed. You know, from those screenshots, they bring up PayPal links. They bring up coffee links or Ko-Fi. You know, some people say Ko-Fi, but it's coffee. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be coffee, K-O-F-I. But with those, there's other ones as well. You know, they've taken donations. They took donations on, you know, they did fundraisers. Absolute. And again, this game that they're playing where it's not, the government is not going to play that game. Again, she can try to sell it to a bunch of idiots online. But it has been over 15 months now. There are posts, people have been digging them up, where she talked about how all of this would be done January 2025. How everything would be done. We are a year plus from that. And there are people still that look at this and that they believe this crazy bullshit. God, I guess it's easier than really buying into the fact that you've possibly been scammed out of a lot of money. But her answers continue from there too. And I mean, like I said, she wants to be obstinate about it. She wants to say, well, if he had evidence, he wouldn't be asking. Oh no, there's plenty. You know, it's just there's so much time that is elapsed over this insanity that, of course, you know, you have to ask people and be like, hey, I can't remember everything that has happened in this, because I sure as hell can't. I can't remember everything that has happened in this. I'm sure most of you, well, some of you maybe can. Some of you can go all the way back to the beginning and be like, yeah, I remember every moment of that. But man, you are the exception. And I'm proud of many of you too, because many of you, there are some amazing people out there that find stuff, everyone from God, I don't actually, I was going to shout out a couple of people, but there are so many of you. I don't want to leave people out. So she continues, though. I am a creditor in Michelle's. No. Remember, you're a potential creditor. Potential. And you didn't do shit with your own money. You had this woman's money locked up. And you've been playing games with it. By the way, I also have a recording of Michelle talking about how everything with the fence was paid for by gift cards. So all that money that you ghosted and said belonged to the fence, again, that's Michelle Preston's money. You don't get to keep the remnant. That's not how it works. People go to fucking jail for that. So if you spent that money, woo, baby, you got problems. You got big problems. So if you want to play I helped pay for this or I helped pay for that. No, you didn't. You collected a lot of money for these people and you didn't turn it over. And she, again, went to people that she decided, again, she's like a snake, though. She has to, just like these people, they're all like snakes. They will be friendly for a minute and then not. But you know what? I don't owe them anything. So like Lynette Preston, it's not like I have anything tied to her. So if you wanted to go out and turn them through, that's fine. But should have gone the way I talked about, man. I love it. Then, as part of the answer for him, he's not a creditor. He's a potential creditor. Well, first of all, she already owes him because of prior decisions. She already owes him money. So he's already a creditor. Remember Ohio, there have already been decisions against her there where she has been told, hey, there are violations, pay attorney fees. You've got to do this. So yeah, he actually is. And on top of it, again, what's hilarious about these idiots is she's the one that added Hales to a bankruptcy in order. Remember, all of this has been about not a bankruptcy to try to write off debt, but to try to write off him. So as far as trying to play this game in the aftermath, I mean, again, this was their game. Just because their game blew up in their face, and they want to play coy in the background afterwards. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. Again, Lisa, you messed up big time with this stuff, and you can sell it to people online and tell them that you're not in the jackpot, but boy, you are. I mean, this we've been saying for a while now that all of this stuff would catch up eventually. And it's starting to. But to pretend, I'm a creditor. Yeah, you go sell that shit again. All that looks like Saran Wrap 2, that game right there, that little hustle you guys are trying to play. So you think that you can game that system. That's going to blow up in your face too. But my Cash App, Coffee, PayPal, they're listed on my channel, jackass. You know this. Make sure they're the same thing. Make sure they're the same ones. Make sure they didn't change them up. And again, didn't you put them in bed too? Are you obsessed with me and stalking my channel? You already know. Hey, they put that in there. They talk about him every fucking day that they go live, by the way. Every day. But he's obsessed with them. Finally, they're getting their comeuppance. And this looks like a lot of panic to me. I love it too. I think it's funny. You're obsessed with me. That's why I talk about you every day, because you're obsessed with me. What a bunch of idiots, dude. They really try to, again, she's going to be pretending to her crowd there that this isn't bad news, but it is. And they all know it. They all know that they've stepped in it. I swear. Remember when they were all bragging about how the thumbnail case, and on top of that, the not just the thumbnail case, but also the trespass 5 that was going to end everybody out there. Now look what they are. Are you interfering in my business? Your business? Where you keep people's money? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. The business that you built on the back of someone else, where all you do, again, you can criticize the shit out of people. But when you step that's why I don't contact fucking people's workplaces. I don't contact fucking people's sponsors and try to get them removed. These people did that publicly. So to pretend that, oh my God, you're interfering with my stuff. Your business has been built on the back of marketing off of anti-Hales. And they really, all they can be like is, I know you are, but what am I? Does Jeremy Hales have any standing in questioning my financials? Nope. But you know what? The freaking the bankruptcy courts do. See, this isn't Jeremy Hales. That's the kicker here. This, as we told you, when this company brought it. By the way, this is funny. I figured something out today. So I told you the Fats, they had been trying to say that the bank, these new people that you were seeing brought in, lawyers and stuff, they were being brought in to potentially get damages for LP, to go after Hales. I thought, man, that's a weird, dumb statement. It doesn't sound like something they themselves came up with either. It sounds like someone else. And today, I figured out who that is. That's a Bruce narrative. How do I know that? Because Volmit came out with an article today saying the exact same thing. And Volmit, well, we know who he mouthpieces. That's you, Bruce, isn't it, baby? That's your narrative. Absolutely. Is that how you're keeping these people in line? You're telling them, actually, these people, there's nothing to fear because they're really being brought in to go after Hales for damage. There is no case out there that they're going to decide damages on. What case do you think's there? In fact, what's standing that you think that they could look at and be like, oh, damages to Lynette Preston? In fact, the last thing that we actually had any kind of decision on, outside of a protective order, which is not good either, is this wonderful case, which they're all complaining about because they're like, oh my God, we actually lost. It was called fraudulent. Fun times. I could go on. Let me do it this way. We can call it a look in the future. Italian intuition, let us say. Question and answer with Lisa and any lawyer in the Hale saga. Lisa, did you receive money for or in the name of Lynette Preston? Answer, no. Oh, absolutely. There is so much proof of this. There is no way that you can deny this stuff. There's no freaking way. They went out of their way to tell people, here's the strange thing. When they're building fences outside of someone's home and they're talking about building barns and stuff. So you're not taking money in that person's name. You're not taking money for them. You're just randomly building fences. No, of course not. Same thing. Did you receive money for or in the name of John Cook? John Cook doesn't count in this. Sorry to tell you, but we are looking at the bankruptcy of one person right this moment. Did you receive money for or in the name of Harley Grace? Absolutely. You got Harley Jolly Christmas. Fuck, you named your Christmas shit after the kid. You merchandise the kid. Lynette, that's another thing somebody should send over to Hales. I don't have it right in front of me, but they merchandise the kid. So yeah, and you had Lynette Preston complaining because they merchandised the child. So that absolutely, without permission, by the way. What? Oh, that's an interesting topic too. Doesn't that mean that potentially Lynette Preston could have a claim against Lisa in the future? I mean, wouldn't that potentially be a problem for her? Have the Fats thought about that? Because, she may, again, when all this stuff goes sideways and she loses enough, she's going to want to blame somebody. And she's very wishy-washy. She turns on people at the drop of a hat. And, these people deserve it, by the way. They absolutely do. Because, they're duplicitous, nasty people. But did you, in HG's name? Oh, yeah. Did you create a fundraiser for the people mentioned above? No, you did it illegally. You didn't create a legitimate fundraiser, but you did indeed fundraise for these people. To say that you didn't, it's the same thing with the memorial bench and more. Remember, they are trying a semantics game, and the court, they won't care. They will not give a fuck about your semantics. Oh, well, actually, courts don't like those kind of games. They do not like it when you try to game them. I've seen many courts get really pissed off about this kind of stuff when people try to go to them and they're like, your honor, actually I did this thing, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that usually goes sideways. It goes sideways really bad. But Lynette Preston, have you received money considered assets from Lisa Lee? Oh God, please God, Lynette, your own voice is going to run into you, And have you received money considered assets? See, they're playing a game. Have you notice this game here? Have you received money considered assets? See, she wants to play this game. They're trying to play a game. This is absolutely, they're transparent as fuck with this. They're trying to pretend that they gave money to Lynette Preston as a loan, even though they raised it online as a fundraiser. They're trying to play this game where, oh no, actually I loaned her money, therefore she needs to pay me back. That's why I'm a creditor. And maybe, maybe I can have enough control over Lynette Preston later on. They're trying to play a game that the courts will not like. And Lynette, man, this is the kind of shit that puts people in jail. I mean, really. God, these people are, when I tell you they are dumb, they surpass that sometimes. I mean, it does. It amazes me sometimes to see what because they're telling her, oh, well, did you receive something considered assets from? No, they did fundraisers. And yes, they didn't turn over the money. She's bitching about it all the time. Excuse my language, but she's moaning and complaining and she even, what's amazing, by the way, somebody get the clip where they talk about, there's something very specific, I think, that needs to be clipped. All right. 2L talked about how, remember when, first of all, you had Lynette Preston talking about how she contacted Levy County sheriffs, but the Fats had already done it first. You remember that? And she was saying that she still had the money, but it was Lynette's fault because they had not gotten permits yet. That stuff needs to be brought up. That needs to be clipped out because that's them admitting that, again, they had also contacted the police, which is amazing to me too, because the police, you remember the cops love her. They absolutely love Lynette, according to Lynette, but they don't love her enough to help her recover her missing assets. It's so crazy. But anyway, let's see. John Cook too. John Cook doesn't fucking even count in this equation. But you keep throwing John Cook in there. John Cook too. You know what'd be fun? There's a, by the way, somebody also, just to keep this concise, go over to Shara's channel. Clip out the part where Lynette Preston is talking about John Cook and saying on that police body cam video where she's saying that John Cook is a liar. He always lies. He lies about everything. Clip that. That'll be real fun. You know, hey, Lynette, did you say that John is a liar all the time? That he never tells the truth about anything? That he's a duplicitous piece of shit? Oh my God, that's amazing. Because either again, I mean, she is the thing that really it brings the wrecking ball to all these people. Again, her voice is all over complaining about freaking 2L. You know, 2L got greedy. Didn't cut according to her, did not cut her in. And I mean, that's a problem. It's a big problem. You know, love it. One second. She went out of her way to play a game, and let me pull this up for you. There's another cost. Check this out. Let's do another one. We'll do a few of these periodically. I was pulling something up and it jammed up. That's why I stopped for a second. But check this out. Listen to this one while we're here. Let's just play a few of these.
She never told us how much. One day, after she bought the island for me, which was $300. She paid for the water heater, which ended up being $2. She's lazy. So she bought a water heater. This is John's fault. He couldn't figure out how to make it work right. He hooked it up wrong. Let's just say that. He hooked it up wrong. So we needed to send it back because we thought it was broken. She is too lazy to send it back. So she just said, just screw it. It's too much trouble. Just keep it and get the new one. So she actually paid for 2 water heaters. So let's just say that was $600 for the both of them. So $300 for the island, $600 for the water heaters. And then she showed up with 2 toilets. Didn't ask us if we wanted the toilets or even what we wanted in a toilet. She just showed up with 2 toilets, and she did buy the lumber, and we did see the receipt on the lumber, and it was $2,300 for the lumber. So she said all she had left was about 17,000. She had said 20, but then she said it was actually around 17,000.
So again, that number 17,000, even by Lynette Preston. Oh, they only spent this much, you know. Oh, and on top of that too, they talked about, like I said, cost of fence, which paid for out of gift cards, according to Lynette Preston. I mean, just it's all so crazy. I love the fact that I mean, again, they're give me 1 second here too. Let's here's also them talking about how they tried to involve police. You know, like I said, if we're going to talk about this, let's just talk about it. Let's be real. What have you talked to so far, law enforcement wise? What have you done so far?
I talked to Beecham, but the day I called Beecham, he told me, he said, well, Lisa was already here.
Lisa was.
I said, what do you mean Lisa was there? He said, she came here or called or whatever. She's already been here and said that your permit expired and that she could no longer do anything because you can't do work on a house without a permit. And I told B, I have a very good rapport with him. And he said, well, do you have that proof? And I said, yep, I have that proof. So I have been, okay, I gotta watch what I say. Okay. I have given that information to someone I am working with on that and other things. Okay. So I did turn her in.
I did turn her into the police. She went to the police before, reported we can't go forward with the project, spending that money that they have because no permit. So, of course, they're admitting they have money. Lynette's own words. Let's go back to her excuses. Again, I kind of love it because, like I said, it's all problems for her. It's so many problems with that, you know. Oh, my God. These people, man. So, does Jeremy Hales have proof that any of this exists? Yes, everybody has proof. Holy God, man. There is so much out there as far as proof is concerned. They've talked about it. They did it publicly. So for them to try to play this game where they're like, hey, prove it. You can't prove we did anything. Oh, yeah, you can. You definitely can. But more than that, again, like I said, the courts, they're motivated to collect that money because they get a fee out of it. And if there's no money left, if they've taken that and they've misused it, you know, here's the problem for the fats. The gift cards, like I said, people need to send over the Amazon lists because those were that stuff right there where they talked about all the gift cards that were given. You know, because that's what paid for the fence. Even Lynette says that's what paid for the fence. Oh, it's so much stuff. So, yeah, is there proof? Yes. How do you know it is? Because I listened to it. Holy shit. Do you do any business of any kind with Jeremy Hales or any blah, blah, blah? No. Are you a competitor of Jeremy Hales? You open something up to try to ruin life. Let's see here. Let's see what they're going to tell the courts, of course. Why does Jeremy Hales allegedly do this? Many reasons. Can you explain? This could be a long one. He hates Lynette Preston with a passion, and he's used her car for content. For you think that the courts are going to care of your whole, content, because this is what they fundraised off of right here. I saw how he was treating people, and I called him out on it and spoke the truth after he attacked his best friend. His best friend indeed. Then I, with the help of my online community, let's go before and after you decided that Jeremy Hales was your target. Isn't it weird that there was no online community before that, right? Now, suddenly after you attack, though, you know, people love a shit show. The problem is that the same people are going to love a shit show where she has problems, too. That includes me. I love a good shit show, too. So I absolutely do. I make no qualm about it. Oh, I love a good shit show. And these people absolutely wrecking themselves like we told you that they would. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love watching it. It's one of my favorite things to see, you know. I absolutely love seeing people take a wrecking ball to themselves because they're too stupid not to. So, proceeded to help the family. Oh, shit. She typed this up. Look, they proceeded to help the family. How did you do that? Oh, well, let's see. Let's check this out. Who is being harassing this entire time with anything? I could make their life and their child's life easier. This triggered him because the fence block. Wait, the fence? Where'd the fence come from? Oh, you fundraised it. Bravo, Lisa. You just admitted that. Good job in your own post where you're defending it. Jeremy, by the way, if you see this, she just brought this up. They did it. Hey, look, they said we did right here. I could make their life and the child's life a little easier. So this is about Lynette Preston. This is about her ward. Fence. There it is. The family, and especially the child. So again, doesn't this fly in the face of her? Have I ever received money, done any of this fundraiser? No, it miracled its way into being. It's like the Immaculate Conception, only for fences. That's amazing. I never knew that could happen with fences, you know? You learn a lot sometimes when you watch shows like this. Did you know? I bet none of you ever realized that that there was a version of the Immaculate Conception for fences. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. These people are some of the dumbest people in the world. They think, like I said, jerking around with the courts, playing this game here, especially considering, I think backgrounds of certain people, fraud and more, I think those will be discussions too. And they don't think that's going to be. So I think that'll be fun as well. But let's see. The people he had been dragging down, who no one knew the real truth about was going on. Their real story was coming to light. I helped make that happen. Yeah, you made the fence happen and other stuff. Let's see the rest. I love the fact that like the Fats can't stop patting themselves on the back, even when it's detrimental to them. Let's finish that part. I love it. Oh my God. Oh, but I helped make that happen when Jeremy Hales tells lies to ruin people's lives on his channel daily. I react and do commentary and show proof. Oh, what about the fence and stuff, though? What about all of that? Why does Jeremy Hales keep trying to bring you into every court case he has open? I told you, he's obsessed with me. God, they give so much proof. Do you have proof of what state is? Oh, I certainly do. Do you have to beg your audience to give you this proof? Actually, no. Most of the proof comes from public documents and his own videos. Thank you for your time. Yeah, it ain't going to go that way. It ain't going to go that way at all. Like I said, the only neat stuff by itself, the documentation of that is actually quite astounding. But beyond that, too, I mean, there's so much else. And again, they're not going to appreciate the way that this is playing out. They will not. They don't care about excuses and bullshit like this. And they certainly don't care to have their time wasted. That's one of the things that that courts, again, like a bankruptcy court, they don't play around. Let me pull this back up here. Give me a second. They did not review the documentation with their crowd. They didn't talk about what was being brought in as far as Bender and as far as with the trustee application. In fact, like I said, you have them right now trying to spin that somehow this is actually pointed at Jeremy Hales. How? I mean, it's the stupidest, most preposterous stuff I've ever heard. But they tried to say with the trustee, these people, they're being brought in to go after. No. They are there for the creditors. And as far as the creditors, again, if you look and you read this, what you find out about how the money breaks down. They talk about 40%, like I said, and they do you a little breakdown. They give you an example. They tell you, first of all, fees and expenses. They say, they have priority administrative expense claim in the amount equal to the total sum of 40% of the gross amount of all funds or assets collected. Now, what they note here, and is a big kicker with that, and Lisa needs to pay a lot of attention to here, is that those assets, it doesn't matter if they were first disclosed or not. It's stuff that they make recoverable. And all Lynette Preston basically reported was the Cheeto stains on the fucking rugs around the house. Not even the rugs, just the Cheeto stains. When in fact, there are many other things, many other assets that have not been reported. And that, again, when you're talking about them potentially being able to recover tens of thousands of dollars for themselves, you don't think they're going to be invested in doing that? So this notion that you're just going to get up there and bullshit them, you're going to feed them a lie, good luck with that. And remember too, while they're playing this game, she brought herself into the bankruptcy as well. She thought that, oh, I'm going to get to go in here and I get to harass Jeremy Hales. Yeah. How's that working out now? Remember when she inserted herself into the whole bankruptcy thing? Remember when she decided that she would become part of the process? And now, like I said, she's trying to play up the creditor thing. And man, I'm telling you, Lynette, I know you and John and stuff. By the way, Lynette, you need to stop listening to John, because John's going to put your dumb ass in prison. That's the thing. If you think you're going to hide assets from these people, that you're going to say that somehow Lisa is a creditor now, despite, again, there's a growing number of people out there that have been very disturbed by the whole process where they didn't get theirs. Like I said, I've got letters I'm turning over to the courts. I'm turning them over from the big donor. Oh, I absolutely will turn them over, because again, whether he wants to write his complaints to the state or not, he complained about it publicly. They addressed it publicly. They talked about all of this money after it was raised. He reached out. He wanted coverage of it. So yeah, it'll get its coverage for sure. It will absolutely get it. But he brought up, by the way, he absolutely, brings up the amounts of money. Give me a second. Give me 1 minute here. He talked about that. He doesn't say the amount in there, because he says he's already in the letters. He's an obstinate douchebag, by the way. He absolutely is. But he mentioned the amount. Oh, he's already posted that. So he brings that up in the letters, by the way, when he's noting it. But he says in the first letters there, again, he notes, quote, all the money I sent. Wait 1 second. Give me a minute here. Actually, you want to see that? Would you like to see this on your screen? Give me a minute and I'll clip this fucking thing. I'm tired of just reading it over here. I'll clip off. Just give me 1 minute and I'll clip the discussion part. And there's more of it later on too. But I'll just clip this part. Like I said, this is all 100% discussion that, it was made on, give me 1 minute. So this will be the first letter. Because this, again, they've laid down plenty of paper trail. And for them to say that this doesn't exist, it just blows my mind. So, when he was writing about this, he was talking about it, he makes it very clear. It was sent to Preston, not to her. So he said, all the money I sent, you have all seen my post about the individual donations via PayPal. So he's referencing in this letter, in the communication, he's referencing that post about the $50,000+. It's referenced here. Just so, again, and what does he say it was for? That was for the Preston family. It wasn't for her. It was for the Preston family. Yeah. Oh my God. Holy shit. Ooh. Well, that's saucy. Oh man. Hey Lynette, did you tell her, by the way, that you sent text messages about this subject? Would you all like to see a text message? Hey, I like that. That's pretty. Would you all like to see a text message where Lynette Preston is talking about this subject of gift cards paying for this? Would you all like to have a little bit of eyeball proof on that too? I'll pull this up as well. Just give me a minute. So there's actually something you probably have never seen. Love this. Oh my God. I love it when they lie. And I mean, they catch themselves. They bust themselves. But anyway, finishing this and then I'll show you that. Okay. Specifically, the child in need. None of it was for Lisa Lee. I repeat, none. What I've witnessed is disgraceful. Lisa Lee, is greedy and disgusting, and I have no idea why she is holding back the Preston's money. For all avoidance of doubt, the money I sent is not for her. She needs to pass the money on to the Preston family with a full set of accounts showing total donations, less expenditure with receipts. Just a basic set of donation amounts. I paused sending any further donations at the end of the year. I wanted to see action before sending any more. Nothing happened, so I could not send any more for furniture, etc. She's tricked me, and no doubt many other donators. And whilst I don't agree with how Hales has behaved in this whole situation, what's more important to me is how Lisa Lee has held back a child and needs money. She continues to stay up all night streaming while she should be focused on project managing the barn conversion for the child. I think you're right. If my donations, which were sent during live stream with no specific message, were stolen by her, Lisa Lee, everything needs to be taken into context during the live streams, including super chats. All the money was for the child's home. All of it. There's more of that. Give me 1 minute. Like in the second part, I took screenshots. I'm done with this woman, Lisa Lee, who, in my opinion, took advantage for her own financial gain. I've asked for transparency. She refused to provide any accountability, refuses to respond to my emails. Stated on air, she never got them when I forward the emails to her co-hosts, Robbie, whom I donated a lot of money for the Gator Farm, and Tori, who was helping as an in-between. They decided to gang up and hide the truth. Enough is enough. She needs to tell everyone, especially the intended recipients, the Prestons, what happened. She can attack me as much as she likes. I can't listen to her hate speech any longer. It's vile, makes me physically sick. Hopefully it'll be exposed in discovery. Finally, she, Lisa Lee, wanted me to buy the land where Travis set up YouTube 2.0. She sent me an email saying I should buy this plot of land for $50,000. I didn't respond because A, I didn't want that land, and B, I didn't want to be accused of stalking. Then several weeks later, she said in a live stream the land wasn't worth $50,000. The woman is a disgrace. She won't address all the donations received. Only one of them, by the way. All Robbie donations to the Prestons indirectly came from me. Regards. So I think he's pretty clear. He gave money during donations to the Prestons. I think that's pretty easy to decode. You don't need a secret decoder ring. Now, as far as Preston is concerned, well, let's look at some text messages. And by the way, somebody out there that they have been attacking over and over again. They decided to attack the other day. In fact, tried to character assassinate. Somebody named, what's that name? Tina. Maybe it's just like the Shara thing. When you attack people like that, maybe don't attack people that have piles of receipts. Maybe don't attack them when they have things like I don't know, this. You know, you can see the conversation here. Watch this. Someone broke down most of the donations, and it sounds like the fence was paid for four different times. But more importantly, her quotes about getting the barn dominium completed. She's like, Preston here. Well, we have the receipts for the fence. We know exactly what it costs. We ordered it. She paid for it in person at the store using Lowe's cards, the gift cards. So no money, no money. Let's see. And it continues. Give me a second here. Again, these are Preston's words, by the way, just to make this very clear again. The panels were 58 each, and I'll have to count them because I forgot how many they were. He has to stop lying about stuff. He just has to, because we know what the fence costs. So I don't have to have any worries or whatever about the fence and what was paid for it at all. You know, so you see, she paid for it with gift cards. She says this again in messages with me, by the way. So there's plenty of discussion about, now, why is that important, you might ask? Why exactly would it matter? Well, because the people over here that have been brought in, you know, these hitters that, again, just to make clear, want 40%, they will probably be curious about the money that these folks have tried to write off. Because remember, they're being duplicitous little scumbags about it. And they're trying to play this game where they pretend that all of this money here, all of it somehow magically becomes about the fence or anything else because they say so. And by the way, when they say there's no money that's ever been given in the name of anyone, would you like me to blow that up for you real fast? Just to make this clear, in their own fucking receipts that they brought up. You know, you see these, again, the David the donor ones and this? Well, look, right here. David said Harley. Unless he's talking about a Harley Davidson, I think he's talking about the kid there. Now, they put it under Christmas. So this is a donation for a Christmas fundraiser. How much clearer can that get? And they named it for these things too. This is Lisa Lee naming what project they say that the money was for. So when the money comes up, they don't have to give it back. It's so weird too. Like I said before, the barn, for example, some of these totals are not small totals, but some of the money they try to ghost for things is nuts. Especially when we find out, you know, things like, again, they led the public to believe that the wood sitting on the ground outside that home was tens of thousands of dollars worth of wood. Then you find out that it wasn't tens of thousands of dollars. It was a couple of thousands of dollars. That and less than $1,000 of items. You know, a couple of water heaters, some toilets, an island. Now, I said, why does that matter? Because the expenses that they've taken, and also they're not going to be able to write off you know, the labor for the fence. They said that they came down there and did that for free. So in the aftermath, when they try to come back and be like, actually, you know, we were getting paid for our trouble. No. You told the public that you were doing all of that shit for free. So go sell that somewhere else too. Like I said, they're desperate right now. And while they may bluster publicly, they are, if they are too dumb to understand the problem that they've caused themselves here. But I think the statements here, they're not stupidity, they're damage control. I think they're trying to convince everyone else that everything is okay. So maybe, just maybe, people won't look. Maybe they can convince, you know, their donors that everything is going to be fine. They've got a real problem here. a big one. Like I said, there's some hungry wolves at the door, and they're going to want to know what happened with that money. And if that money has vanished, if that money is no longer there, or again, like they try to play the account game that they were playing, where they said that there was about $17,000 or $18,000 left. You know, again, they played this game, which I think they'll try to pull. If they ever get cornered, they'll try to say, well, all this other money, it was for these projects right here. And there was only about $17,000 left for the barn anyhow. No, absolutely not. You know, again, donors gave a lot of money. And they referred to them as donors for a long time. The only neat stuff, though, it spanned a lot of conversation. This is what they forget, too. They forget that when they were being asinine and arguing with only me, all of that was public. So their public attacks on this dude, they explode online. Remember that first live stream where they talked about, well, maybe you weren't around then, but if you were, then maybe you remember. But if not, the way that this stuff blows up, there was a moment where the Fats man, it was revealed that he had a criminal past. In fact, there were documents that showcased some problems that, well, let's just say some sketchy business practices. And that stuff, that caused this guy to start asking questions. And apparently when he asked questions, even though they say that they're just an open book and they'll discuss it anytime, apparently instead of talking to him, they decided to get in front of it by going on a live stream first with this one creator. I can't remember their name back when. Actually, I can remember their name, but I don't want to bring it up. But because I don't think they've been involved in this a long time, you know. So, but on top of it, then you had a live stream that poured over with Stupid Dave and with Guapo. Now, during that, you found out quite a bit because there was a lot of arguing that happened in the chats. You know, you had David, the donor, there, but you also had 2L there, and all of this stuff, they forget, like, all of that is documented. All of the other arguments are documented. The commentary through the Miyagi stuff. You know what's really funny is going back and seeing how much, by the way, Miyagi too. You know, Miyagi, you should send over your proof of giving money for these folks as well. You know, because again, what they need to do, you know, the thousands of dollars that went for this or went for that, they need to prove that that money was spent on what they say. Because there were a lot of fundraisers. And there's this assumption that everything was used, like when they say it was for a lawyer or something, that money was utilized for that. Well, let them prove it. I mean, let's just be honest. Let them prove it, you know? Because, I mean, who trusts them? At this moment, if you trust these people, boy, you got a lot better. You got a lot more going on with that than most of us. But if you go back, though, like I said, just what's interesting about this stuff, if you go back, all these receipts are still there, you know, where he's mad and he's like, you know, 56K, not including super chats, not enough for a barn conversion. Only me donated 56K for the Prestons, yet she needs more money. Look forward to seeing how my 56K and all the donations from everyone else was spent. We have a right to know, especially because of the criminal background. No more donations going to Preston because of 2 Lees. Donations. And what's amazing, you see the arguments here, right? You see all this coming up, and they're like, barn is in production and will be done just like everything else I said, period. See ya. So these are admissions that money was given for this. because he's throwing a fit about it in chats. And you can see other chats that are there too. You have people, like I brought this up before, you have people saying, oh, why are we taking his word on it that he even gave money? And they're like, oh, no. Oh, he sent a lot. He sent a lot. So, yeah. And again, he's asking things like, why do you need more money? Why do you need that? You have other people that are like, yo, he gave a lot. Why would somebody else, and again, I'm showing this stuff because you can see them bring up $56,000, and you see them being like, why are we accepting he gave that 56,000? Where are his receipts? And she confirms this though, in this argument. It gets confirmed by her. And it just amazes me. There has been nothing done with this. In fact, when this is brought up and you have these two bumbling morons up here, instead of pushing this because this guy's supposed to be their pal, they're just like, this is chat drama. And I helped you, Dave. Dave, I helped you, you piece of garbage. Dave fell back in line too, didn't you, Dave? Stupid Dave, get in line. But I mean, you look at these again, there's all this discussion where this keeps coming up, and you see things like, again, she confirms there are damning screenshots like this that exist where they're saying the 56K was not just for the barn. It was for the fence, for HJC, Harley Jolly Christmas. That is in Harley's name for fucking A sure. So yeah, they got a real problem. And they can play and they can pretend all they want to the crowd out there. But anyone with half a brain cell would understand that this is bad for them. They've got real problems. And this is just one of the live streams that goes over that. They did so much damage control trying to get out from under all this stuff with David that they have laid down this insane amount of receipts. And on top of laying down all those receipts there, they have done nothing to forward this project at all. Remember, this project was supposed to be done in January of 2025. Now we are setting in February of 2026. Lynette also has made plenty of public statements about money and about not getting hers. What's funny too is Lynette Preston always says, I just tell the truth. I'm not a liar. I never lie. Well, she's put in this situation here. How are you going to deflect this? Because your own words have called this person out, Lynette. What are you going to do in this? Are you going to about face and try to say, oh, about all this stuff? Actually, I was wrong in it. I mean, how are you going to damage control that now? Again, these people are in bad shape. Now, I want to go over that Shara post. I was going to go over one other thing, but I may save there were three big things that happened today. There was this, which I think is huge, that we've been talking about. Oh my God. This is so funny. Look. Oh my God. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull something up here. Give me 1 minute. I want to show you something. I've been playing. So, ChatGPT has this setting where it makes like old grainy photos. They look like they're straight out of the 80s. Check this out. This is Umbrella Christmas, back in the day. Look here. Check that out. Man, look. Back in the 90s. There's Umbrella. It's funny. That's pretty rough. I guess back in the 90s it was pretty rough too. But look at that. Look at that film grain. I like it. It's really funny. I'm gonna have fun with that. Wait a minute. Is that a gas can? Give me a second. Let me pull that back. What is that? Looks like a gas can. Look at that. What is that supposed to be? Am I burning down the Christmas tree? What's happening in this picture here? I'm very confused. I'm confuzzled a little bit. Oh man, what a weird thing. Okay, so on top of this stuff that happened, there was also, just to make this clear, and we'll hit again, we're going to hit that Shara post real quick, but there was also another document that fell in. Like I said, we will hit the document. It's 9 pages. We'll hit it tomorrow when Megan, she's supposed to be back around there. So I'll say, otherwise we'll be here another hour covering, and then on top of that. But this is another John Doe interaction with the courts. And it comes on the heels of, I imagine that this will be kicked out of the court. I imagine Bolitho will be like, this is trash, it's gone, because he's already done that before. And there's no reason that this should be added in either. But this is an attempt to basically, it's damage controlling off of Randy's filing, where Randy, he filed, we went over all but just a small amount of pages we missed out on Sunday. If you missed it, it was a really good discussion by him with the court about why Luthman had, number one, been served, he had been avoiding, and why the default should stand. Okay, well, as part of that, he brings up the threats that were made. Okay, and it's about the threats that were made. It's another party, essentially, or supposedly another party, saying, hey, that was me, and I don't want to say who I am. So we'll look at that clown show tomorrow, but I do want to show you that Shara stuff. And again, this is a crazy thing that happened today with the Shara stuff, because remember, let me blow this up. Give me a minute. Because with this, remember, they made contact with Hale's kid. You had Preston and Cook making contact with him, Yeah, to Hinkle, my bad. You're right, Max Lab. Yeah, it goes over to Hinkle, not believe, though. But it's in that case. But you're right. It's but still, they have allowed, here's the problem with that case. They have set the tone in that case where they have allowed so much of this clown show to exist that after a while you have to be like, what like how in the world? So like I said, we'll go over that. I think it'll be fun to cover and talk about with Megan anyway. We might I'm also going to mark even though I typically don't cover them, I'm also going to give me 1 second. I will show you this real fast, but I'm not going to cover it. There's like I said, so you had Volmit come out with an article. Well, it's typically, I don't really care that much with his articles because they're just not good. But the reason that I do think this one is funny is because it attaches to that narrative that I told you about, how you have all of these anti-Hales idiots trying to say that this new law firm that's coming in with the bankruptcy, the people out there, they may soon start frowning instead of cheering. Like I said, this right here has to be a Bruce narrative. Has to be. Yeah, Bruce? Because, it certainly, again, Lisa picked the narrative up, talking about how these people are going to come in and go after Hales. And then Volmit picks it up. They're mouthpiecing for them. The gang's back together again, and it looks really desperate. So we'll definitely cover that. I'm not sure if we'll hit that one tomorrow, but it's definitely on the itinerary too, because I think it'll be fun to laugh at. Some things you do need to laugh at. So this is the Shara post, though. She posted it around 8 hours ago. It was with public commentary. She was This public comment was just, like I said, it's nuts how this came up, and I described where it came from earlier. So it appears even a protective order won't stop these parties. Meanwhile, the sheriff's legal department has an ongoing extensive, quote unquote, private communication with NP. And they do, by the way. They absolutely do. She admits that the police department, they do indeed. They're pals with her. You heard them talk about that. They've been having, again, they want to get even with Hale. I actually, it's one thing I believe Lynette Preston with. I believe that she has had extensive communications with Levy County. I absolutely believe that. So when Shara talks about that, I absolutely believe that. But a primary person named in the protective order, off-body cam communications, even involving MH beginning in 2023, appearing to be working toward getting the famous YouTuber in prison for protecting himself from several people pursuing him and threatening safety ongoing. This is not the first time NP has worked hard for years to get someone in prison. I'm opening and investigating and will be fighting for justice in the criminal case of K, in which MP was heavily involved from start to finish, a case in which she still flashes a gotcha badge to this day, maintaining control over the family, a case that involved, quote unquote, obtaining children. Beginning early in August 2024, 2LPR joins the MPB team, the MPB team, I like that, and begins her behind the scenes, off camera and on live camera criminal case pursuit against famous YouTuber she's never met and has seemingly pursued for years, even making herself a mod, failing to become a member of his inner circle. Is this new activity JH has no part in, some kind of new MP and PR publicity stunt? So what she's asking here, and I think this is a legitimate question, did they just contrive a narrative? You know, it feels like that. They constructed something out of nothing. They pulled up a quote unquote message, just some random supposed letter or message. They did not go over it at all. And they decided to showcase this thing live. In that, it references Jeremy Hale's kid. And it says that he has been involved in something terrible. In the aftermath, they decide, oh my God, we got to ghost that live stream. So they do. They ghost it. They ghost it down to 43 seconds because they even talk about how they're going to do that. It's a nasty little thing that they did too. They spread this vile narrative that was absolutely not true. 100%. But they spread it anyway. Then after they spread it, they're like, oh, we're stunned by this and we denounce and decry. But they're the ones who spread it. You know, some random account, you say, just totally out there and there's nobody connected to you, say. In fact, you're supposedly Hale's follower. Are you kidding me? Dude doesn't even talk about, like, one of the things that he avoids doing is talking about family, which I understand, you know, because these people latch onto it and they will attack anyone, you know. They brought up stuff he did not want to talk about, but he did. He tried to talk about it a little bit. You could tell it was very uncomfortable, but he still talked about it. And all of that, they did their best to do harm with it. You know, I'm not going to rehash all of that, of course, but let's just say it was pretty nasty events. You know, they did everything in their power to attack him with. Then out of the blue, like I said, they come together with this narrative that is so heinous that what I'm curious about this too. So the live stream brings this stuff up. But how does he find out about it? Did they all start contacting him behind the scenes as well? Because they're contacting him. They're flagrant enough about it to contact him right here in public, where again, the screenshot, just in case you missed it, I'll bring it up. It does not have his account listed on it because I'm glad that Shara took that off there. Also, Marla Huge is on there too. You know, let's not forget Marla is also part of it, because of course Marla is such a nasty piece of trash, man. But how does he hear about it? Where he feels that, and again, that's nothing negative toward him either. I understand wanting you see something and you're like, I don't know what this is, but somebody had to message him and bring this stuff up. And I do wonder, with Shara stating this, I wonder, is this the newest contrivance by them to harass Hales, where they create a story that is 100% not true for the purposes of, again, of flagrantly broadcasting that they're trying to communicate with his family member here? Again, could you imagine? You know, the family member is not communicating with them. They're communicating with him openly, you know, and it's wild because, again, he has a protective order against these weirdos, these nut jobs. They think that it's open season to do whatever the fuck they want. And they feel like that because, again, places like Levy County have pretty much declared open season. They don't care about it. It's wild to see that. But when you look at this, so he mentions, again, you see John Cook that's in there. You see Lynette Preston that's in there. And you see Marla Huge that's in there too. God. There's another one there too. There's old Ed. Look at all these fucking anti-Hale. Again, it's just gross, man. It's absolutely disgusting that they also, you know, for them to find out and to pounce on that, again, it looks like something they contrived. Because I'll tell you, I don't know how many of you follow like multiple channels or anything like that, but community posts are one of the last things I find out about when I'm following stuff. So for them to notice a community post, again, I feel like they created a scenario in which they could step out and they could harass. And it's beyond the pale of just stalking. I mean, this is next level. It is. It's 100% next level. And I'm sure that's going to end up in court because again, they have been told, you know, with a protective order, people need to look up what a protective order exists for. You know, what is its purpose? When it says protection, what does that mean? Let's look that up. Give me a second here, you know, because ultimately, you know, to do specifically, let's pull something up on that. With the protective order, again, what is it supposed to stop? The designation for it is it's preventative. That's one of the major functions of a protective order. It's not something it's not symbolic. It actually carries real legal force behind it. That's why the response by Levy County is so absurd, because it's supposed to be real legal response that is measured everywhere. By the way, let me get a drink. Oh God. And it is supposed to prevent someone from being harmed, threatened, harassed, or having contact, not just from themselves, but for anybody that is around them, anyone that they know that will cause stress or it causes any type of issues with that. Now, this kind of stuff, again, the whole what's interesting is with prohibited contact, the idea with, again, you being able to reach out to my family and stuff when I have that. Yeah, these just checking in or just responding, that can violate too. Absolutely. But with the again, like them spreading harmful content. What another part of this that really intrigues me too is since there's the connection to Lynette Preston out there with 2Ls, and 2L is the one that started all of this. Does this count as them? Again, this was their PR team after all. They're joined in the hip, as it were, and now they have a new narrative. It causes I'm sure that when Hale hears something about it, even if he thinks that's absurd, it causes worry and stress. And then, like I said, it continues and it snowballs from there. What is her involvement in that? Has she caused that from go? Because the publication of something that to that level, that's a problem too. These people, like I said, they don't stop and they never learn because they don't care. They don't care about the harm that they potentially do. They don't care about harassment, and they don't give a shit about a court order. They've made that very clear. So I figure all of that will end up in court. But it feels like a lot of stuff is happening that is really not good for the fats. Like I said, they'll bluster and they'll pretend like they're good to go. But this is a problem for them. And any of the people, they'll try to sell to their viewership that this isn't an issue. But again, they took money. They did not deliver on something. And anybody, look at how many people have reported issues with this. How many people have talked about it. And on top of it, they promised that they would make refund. That in itself is a problem too. They said if they hadn't delivered by the end of January, that they would end up refunding everybody's money. And after January rolled around, guess what they said? That they never did that. We never said that. This clown. It's a fucking amazing clown show. But at the same time, it's amazing to see people deny the reality of what they note. The gaslighting campaign. It is so absurd. I do not understand how anyone that supports these people cannot look at that and say, wait, this is crazy. And anyway, let's hit some super chats. Oh my God, these people, man. Max Lab, thanks for the 2 there. Several problems with the John Doe doc envelope. Yeah, I'm going to look at that a little bit more and see everything with it, just to flesh that out and see if some of the stuff, if there's, again, to look at explanations with it and just fill that whole topic out. But yeah, I saw where you mentioned that. Potentially. What's up, Jaguar? Thank you for the 10 giftos, by the way. That is awesome. Much appreciated. Thank you. What is that? I'm looking at some of the there is so much funny stuff out here. Just give me a minute. People are sending me items too with proof. You would not believe how much is out there. All the screenshots and everything else. By the way, hey, you want to see something that's fun with that? Would you like to see a little bit of a taste that says that they were indeed fundraising? They're just playing again. They want to play a game where we totally didn't do that, right? They totally didn't, and yet. So here's a couple of odds and ends, that kind of go with that theme. First of all, interestingly, here's a super chat talking about, what is that? Harley Christmas. Wait, I thought there was never any money collected for Harley in Harley's name. And yet, there you go. There's one right there off the bat. There was a whole Christmas function that was done in this person's name. On top of that, too, when you start looking around, what else, Well, you have discussions also that are coming up about how, and again, they pull up on their own streams talking about how Lisa sent $50 for Michelle to help her out on her booth next month. Oh, wait, so she was paying for her booth and helping out with that too? Wow. So they're raising money. They're putting it. So remember too, they were saying that none of that money could be utilized for anything else except, and they raised money for all types of stuff. So for them to play this game and pretend like they're creditors, oh my God, it's so funny. It's just all nuts. Thank you though for the 10 giftos. That is much, much appreciated. All you being here today too. You are very appreciated as well. I'm glad to be able to, have a good live stream and us goof off, and again, like I said, if everybody would send some love, make sure that you tell Megan that she's missed, and that, we want to see her. So she, like I said, she's supposed to be on tomorrow. So everything should be back to normal like that. But, and I get that. Like for myself, God, I have some days where I'm like, man, I ain't doing it. But, and she's been dealing with a lot with her kids and stuff and, all the medical things that have been going on. So when you have to pick, family first, always. But thank you for that. Appreciate you. Cindy, thanks for the 2 there. Insanity. Megan's off. That's what I thought actually at first. I thought Megan's not here and everything just absolutely went insane. So I wondered, it used to be like Megan's on, she's away like on break. But I wonder sometimes, if the cosmic ripples, if they're felt somehow. And it's just like, oh, Megan's not going to be on stream today. I wonder how crazy things can go. It feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? But that's exactly, it's funny because I thought that exact thing, like when all this popped up. Because Megan, she let me know really early on that she would not be around today. And that she would be, like I said, most likely back tomorrow. And I thought, when things just got crazier and crazier today, I thought, man, it's also, we've got that hearing that's coming up. You got a hearing on the 10th. So I'm very curious about how all of that'll go too. Anytime you have these, God, all of this stuff is so crazy. I love watching it, but at the same time, I can't help but think what utter lunacy, what's going to happen next time? You ever wonder that? You ever wonder where does this stuff stop? I worry about that sometimes. I worry that when it stops, it's going to be, I worry, let's just say. Whoops, Fallen Hero. Hey, man, I appreciate you. It's good to see you, as always. It's like a rock, always. I appreciate you. First of all, appreciate your backing, but I appreciate you, again, being a constant. I say that every time, and I mean it every single time. Thank you, my friend. Jack Miles, thanks for the 2. Love the short today. Indeed. I love the reactions that they cause, too. I love the fact that when this stuff comes up, these people, again, they try to become, obstinate, and they try to pretend that there's no problem for them whatsoever. They don't have any issues. There's not a problem for them, but you can tell, it's a big problem. So I love that. Cineg, what's up, man? 66 months. That is wild, brother. By the way, thank you. Again, like I've said before with people too, Cynic, you've been around for a long time. Appreciate you, my friend. But I get my kicks with Tug 66. That's right. There you go. I love it. I hope the fleas answer her depot, just like she says in the post. That's right. Deny everything and open herself up to perjury charges. That's right. I sometimes think that they feel like it's a game they get to play. And in this game, there is no liability, liability. They're never going to have a problem, though. And I hate to tell them, but they definitely have opened themselves up, God, for a world of hurt. And, at the end of the day, we've told them this to the point that, it's almost exhausting to be like, yo, I realize. But, even though they're terrible people, and even though they don't deserve it, we try to tell them, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe you should make better decisions. Even though they don't deserve that, we still try to help them out. And they never listen. So it'll be really interesting to see how this goes for them. And of course, they will cry victim the whole time. And remember, the bankruptcy thing, it was all of their plot. They all conspired to do this. So when they're playing victim, like she is now, where she's pretending that somehow Jeremy Hale's the bad guy in this little tale, just remember this again. This was their plot. This is something they decided to do. But yeah, I hope that she goes that route. Emma, thanks for the 2. Frames arrive. Send an email with pics. I love those, by the way. I absolutely do. I saw those come in. Let me pull those up. I love the amount of time you spend on that too. And so many of you make awesome stuff. By the way, so somebody sent Christmas ornaments. They noted this a while back. If you're listening, those ornaments, they did not arrive for the longest time. Finally, though, everything arrived, and they are so funny. They were late, but it was mail late, not you late, but it was, the mail was being weird. And I love those things. I think they're cool. I love this stuff you folks make. Check this out here. Let me show this off. I love it. It's got the frames and everything. I absolutely adore stuff like this. Give me 1 minute. Check that out. Look at these. Look, you got the axolotl body. Look at the coloration and everything. Look how that's thought out. Look, the giraffe here, coloration, with the yellow. I thought I heard the door too. I think I heard my radar. Hey, are you on the steps? Hey, come here. Hey, come here. I'll show you something real quick. Come here. I want to show you a picture. You're right on time. I'm going to show you something. Look on the live stream. Look, somebody has made, check that out.
I remember these.
Yeah, look, they got frames now. So look at that one. Look at your little giraffe.
Yeah, and Sissy has axolotl. I always loved my Sissy loves axolotl, and I do like giraffes.
Yeah, and you love that color too, right?
Yeah.
That's your favorite color.
Yeah, favorite color and favorite animal.
Yeah.
Number one.
That's right. That's awesome. See, there you go. The stamp approval. And
Sissy's so calls Papa on. There's Papa on there.
that's right. And look at that cool picture from my channel stuff too. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You love that? I love it. They did a lot of work. It took a lot of time because it was a lot of work.
Is that yours?
Yeah, that one's mine. Yeah.
They're ideal.
You like that?
Yeah. And Sissy's favorite is Axolotl, and her favorite color is purple.
Yeah.
It used to be pink, though.
It was never pink.
Yes, it was.
No, it was
Yeah,
not.
you don't remember.
I do remember. Sissy has never said I like pink ever. No.
It's been a while back.
No, that's not right. Sissy is like many things, but she has never been like a girly girl. Remember?
One day you'll like pink. You don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't remember.
I do. I do. I have all night memories, except when I was a baby.
Maybe you've gone crazy.
If you gone, but if I got crazy, why do I do the same things?
Maybe you've gone crazy. Hey, Emma, by the way, sent $2 and said, "Can you say thank you first of all?"
Thank you.
She said, "So happy you love it, Bug and Tug. Hopefully, oh yeah, they'll all love it for sure. You know, we all do. Sissy will love that too.
You always call me. You can call me Big Umbrella Girl.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Now it went from baby umbrella girl to big umbrella girl. Right?
I'm 6 years old.
I know you were getting so old, man.
But just 6.
You're 6 going on 100, right?
No, just 6.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought you were 90 years old by now.
What
the what?
Then why do I look so young?
Maybe you look good for your age, right? You
Well,
been taking care of your skin?
But
Yeah. You have a good skincare regimen? Is that why you look so young for your age?
I'm just 6.
Are you sure?
He look dumb.
I thought you were 60.
Say.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
My bad.
says who that forgets his memory?
I'm just messing with you. You also, hey, Anthony said hello to you. Can you say hey?
Hey, and that's I have an A in my first name of my name.
That's right. You do have an A. That's right. You do. You've been learning your alphabet, learning reading, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, go do your thing so I can finish this up. Okay.
And look, and I found some gum.
Yeah, it's one of your gum packs. There you go.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Well, that's good. Now you got a whole brand new gum pack.
I think this was from Gigi. I guess I dropped it for me.
Well, hey, did you go check out where Gigi helped with all your room stuff? Go look.
Yeah, it's so clean.
I know. Well, go enjoy it. You and Gigi did a good job cleaning up today, didn't you?
Yeah. At the end of it, I got tired because
I know. You got exhausted.
Yeah, I was wanting getting Gigi stuff.
Yeah.
I was helping a lot.
Yeah, I saw you helping. Yeah, she did a big cleaning job today.
I helped a lot.
You did. So go have fun for a little bit, okay? All right. Well, go upstairs so I can finish this, okay? Love you.
And I love you too.
All right. Thank you, baby.
And
Close my door, too.
Pet trust whoever made those.
Yep. All right.
I like the draft list. She likes that one. And I like his.
Okay. Well, hey, go upstairs, okay? Love you.
Love you too.
Close that door.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, now let's see. Who's daddy? Thanks for the 2 there. Fatty said many times that the barn was fully fit. Yes, indeed. She said that over and over again. It was funded, you know. She also said, interestingly enough, that the money they had gotten, that was plenty to finish up the barn construction. Then suddenly it wasn't. Wasn't that crazy? Just Jay. Thanks for the 5. Oh, man. By the way, Jay has been Jay's been pretty entertaining. He's been making them very irritated lately. I find it funny when anything irritates the Fats that much. And Jay really gets under their enormous amount of skin. It's pretty funny, like how badly he upsets them Kind of love it. So breadsticks for the fats indeed. Well, thank you. Silver Fox, thanks for the 10. They hung up on Jeremy. Oh yeah, they get really, they forget this is bankruptcy court. It's not Jeremy. The court will look and find the money, period. It's their job to do. Indeed, this is not, and these people that are brought in, they want to sell this notion that somehow, these people are going to come after Hales. And it's like, no, that's not their function in this. Their function is representing the creditors. Like, I don't even know what these idiots are trying to shop as far as their explanation for what's going on. I mean, the stuff that they try to tell their crowds, none of it makes sense, but it's all panic. I love it. What's up, Scott from West Tennessee, man? Thanks for the 10 there. Ye old breadsticks just for you. Hugs to Megan and her family. Indeed. Thank you, first of all. And yes, indeed. Love to her too. By the way, the stuff with lips, as far as gathering everything together so we can make an amended report as well, that all has been compiled. It took a hot minute just because we have to pull everything together and, make sure that everything's documented and whatnot. It's a little bit more work than you would think sometimes, but we've gotten all that information together. So it's just a matter of getting it all situated, but it's moving forward. Isn't that fun? I love it. And Shelley, thanks for the 5 there. Stupid is, stupid does. That's right. Isn't it funny how the Walrus copies other channels, birthday songs, breadsticks, pre-birthday funds, stupid people. Yeah, they try to do everything that other folks do. And the hilarious thing about it is they don't do it well, Imitation, it should be the sincerest form of flattery, but they do everything from that to how long, again, being 15 minutes before coming in, everything with AI video use. I mean, just anything. Like they don't have a thought that they themselves come up with ever. And it's kind of amazing to watch play out because they still are, and they'll, what, they turn on audience members, they turn on people that have helped them out. I mean, look at the mod situation. The mods have happily gone about their business, and every now and then, though, the mods come up on that stuff. They end up being a target anyhow. It's kind of crazy to say. Grandma Lola, thanks for the 5 there. Don't insult snakes by comparing the anti. That's true too. I actually like snakes. I'm watching my bandit king snake right now. He's digging. I like watching. He's kind of crazy. He's made so many tunnels. It's wild to watch them tunnel, to move things, like how they move, they tunnel with their mouth. It's kind of wild to watch him take his environment and he's turned it into all his. Yeah, they're interesting. I could watch him for hours. I really can't watch them very well for hours. Cindy, thanks for the 2 there. No teeth, more than she can chew. Yeah, when you bite off more than you can chew, is that what you're going with? Indeed. It's what's sad about these people is that they never learn, and that they have probably taken, they got, first of all of these people together, they got Lynette believing that she could do something that she can't. She could get rich off of Jeremy Hales. And that's a problem. They convinced her that she was going to make all this money, that she was going to do all this stuff. Everything was going to work out just fine. And how did it go? Well, it went anything but that way. It's been something to see. So yeah, and she has walked herself into problems too. It's been wild to watch play out. Thanks for the 4 months there. Now we know why 2L took LP back, to get her to lie in court for 2L. Yeah, they well, what's interesting is there's a conversation that was had with Tina where Lynette talks about how she is going to play nice. She has to play nice at least until they get out of Ohio. So right after the money came in, she told Tina, because Tina was asking, she was like, hey, why are you doing with these folks? Again, you asked for, contact for Tug to be made, all of this stuff. Why are you doing that? She was like, well, right now I have to. So I'm going to pretend to be nice. I'm going to pretend to get along with them, at least until after this is done. And then she was going to try to go after them again. Again, I offered her a very good way to go forward. And it's funny because if she would have taken my advice, she'd be in a lot better place now than she is. That's for damn sure. But what do I know, right? I mean, these people, they think they know better all the time. And look where they end up, right? Travis, thanks for the 5. She effed up the last time. Wait, she's effed rather. The last time I was in court, it took me a second, sorry, but I got told if the judge could see my tats again, he would put me in jail. And I followed the rules. Yes, that's the whole thing. You remember that the court whether you think that a judge is a piece of garbage, a monster, whatever you think about them, you don't make that clear. You never let those utterances come out of your mouth. You never really let it set in your mind either. These people, they disrespect the courts. They lie. And they know that they lie. And actually, to be honest, in the protective order, I'm stunned. In the last hearing, they lied and pretended that they didn't post certain things. They were flagrant about what they did. And despite being flagrant about it, they got off pretty light. That's one of the things I don't like with, and this isn't really aimed at the court. It's aimed at that entire system. When there's a violation, when you have a protective order in place, and the protective order, it should be guarding you, but really the only like if it's violated, you pay a couple $100, maybe $1,000 or a few $1,000s in fees for lawyers, but nothing really happens except, hey, don't do that again. Hey, don't do that again. How many times do you get a don't do that again? How many do-overs do you get before it's a problem? Most courts, they're strict, but at the same time, you look at you look at what happens with people and protective order. That's why so many terrible things happen to people despite having protective orders. They're really there for the aftermath in case something happens, like in case you have to do something terrible or, something bad happens, and they know who to look at and put in jail. It's awful stuff, really. Silver Fox, thanks for the 5. I guess she's trying to get ahead of Fed case because once bankruptcy court finds all this out, Jeremy Cannon will use this as proof. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's funny is all of these moves. So I've been watching this play out, and this is exactly what was expected to happen so far. It is played exactly how had been, I guess, noted, which is so amazing to me, because these people, remember, this was their plan. They thought that they were doing something slick, and people saw through this a mile away and planned for it. It's just amazing to me. Tizzy, what's up, Tizzy? Appreciate you, by the way. Thank you for the gift, though. Also, thank you for everything you do. You are also a great person at finding things. So I'm sure you did all that research for the fence in the barn. I'm sure you've got plenty of receipts that you could send over. And again, let me note to anybody out there while I'm mentioning that, Hales did put up a video. He asked for receipts, but again, concise stuff. Don't just send over links. I know people, when they do that, they're trying to be helpful, but it's so much. It's funny too. The Fats are like, oh, he says he's got all this proof, and yet he's asking the public. You know what that shows? Actually, he doesn't want to dig through their live streams. He has all their live streams for sure. I'm sure he does. But, going through, like, that is a lot of work. And considering, like I said, he's paying a fortune to take these people to court as it is. But yeah, thank you, Tizzy. Becky, thanks for the 12 months. 12 months, baby. 1 year. Thank you there. This is going to be amazing. Can't wait to see how she's going to get out of this one. Indeed. It's not selling. They think it's like trying to sell an audience something that's going on. And look at how bad certain things have gone for these people. I mean, they're so assured in what they do. And yet again, we saw a state case collapse. We saw Bruce get in trouble for the stuff that he was doing, that he was so sure that he could do, by the way. I mean, just, all this stuff is wild, man. I love it. Melissa, thanks for the 4 months there. John admitted to building the fence on his own in a recording, Lynette and John interview and their attorney. That's amazing, too. Isn't that interesting? So John, when they put the thing together, these people said that, again, if they try to turn around and say, oh, well, we've got to charge for labor or something. Oh, no. This was supposed to be something that was done as a donation. They were fundraising for. The labor was supposed to come with it. It'll be really interesting to see how they try to talk their way out, especially after discussions like that. And yeah, MaxLab, thank you again for noting. For Hinkle, not belief though. Although when this stuff comes up, neither one has done anything yet to really maintain control of their courtrooms. I hope it does happen there, Christine, thanks for the 2. So Shara said that 2L contacted the son. See, that's insane, man. I did actually, you know what? I saw something written about that. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I saw something that indicated that she did. I mean, these people, again, they will do, they talk about Hales, and they're like, oh, Jeremy Hales does this, and he does, man. You remember when she threw a fit because the picture of her mother that she used in intros, somebody posted? And yet, I'm telling you, the way these people act, they've been very lucky that Hales, he does not react like they act. I mean, seriously, because these are just disgusting individuals. That's gross, though, Christine. Thank you, too. Weezy, what's up? Thank you for the gifted membership there. Appreciate you. Appreciate seeing you, too. I hope everything is going good. Poindexter, what's up? Thanks for the 10 months there. It's like asking God for patience. You know, he'll throw it all at you, so you learn it. Indeed. Indeed. That is very true. Shelley, thanks for the 5. I have watched since 2019. I will continue. Watch. All this mess is over. Yeah, and beyond. Let's, you know, I mean, just honestly, yeah. You know, one of the things that I found interesting with all this mess is I have gotten to the point where I do like Hales, you know, and I like some of the people that are around him too, you know. I'm not saying I don't like certain ones. I'm just saying, like the people that I've gotten, I don't know everybody around him, but some of the people that I've had time and opportunity to talk to, they've all been nice. They're pretty much, I mean, they're pretty open books about a lot of the stuff that goes on too. And, you know, that, like I said, that's one thing I do appreciate going forward with this, because even after this mess is over, you know, like I said, no matter how anything turns out, I feel like, hey, you know, these people, they're decent people, you know, and in a world full of the crazy that you see, especially online, that's a lot rarer than people understand, you know. Like actually running across a decent human being in this online thing. So I'll keep watching and supporting after that. Pickle Tink, thanks for the 2. Didn't Jeremy say there was a creditors meeting today? I keep thinking they have a meeting. You know, they have that thing tomorrow. So I believe there was, I can't remember what was on today. I can't recall. So, but there is a meeting on the 10th. So we'll see. Well, we'll see what that means exactly. You know, I think all of this is going to get very interesting. And I think Lynette, what she's going to find out is that her plan that they all concocted, it was a very bad one. We told her that, though. We told her from go, you don't want to go down this path. It's a bad path. She was like, no. It's going to be great. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Christine, thanks. Hope this channel Thursday. Oh, they said something about, I hope this channel Thursday, something special planned for Thursday on this channel for Thursday. But is there something going on Thursday I'm just not thinking of? Is my mind blanking? Let me see. Oh, yeah. I was, are we talking about, you know, no, that's, I was thinking Valentine, but no, that's Saturday. What's going on Thursday on the 12th? Am I just spacing? Did you notice, by the way, the meeting was today. Okay. I kept thinking I thought it was tomorrow. I kept thinking there was a meeting on the 10th. Oh, it's your birthday on that day. Okay, I see. Yeah, we'll be on one of the channels. So unless something happens, you know, like I said, I typically, unless I have to, I don't miss days. You know, I try to be on because it's not just a channel thing for me. It's habitual, you know, I've done it for a long time, so it's habit. But on top of that too, I enjoy, you know, doing all that. So, you know, if I can be on, I will definitely be there for sure. Let's see. But yeah, happy birthday then as well. Like, remind me as we get closer, I'll and if you're going to be away that day for some reason, tell me the day before. I'll throw you a little celebration the day before if we need to. Wheezy, thanks for the 5 there. And thank you for shouting out the little one. I'll have to tell her as well. I'm sorry. I usually keep a good eye, but she caught me off guard today. Yeah. So I saw one of the later ones come in, but I missed yours and I apologize there. Yeah, thanks for the 2. Tug, did you see that? That's 20 minutes of Spawn Troopers live. R.E. John Doe. I heard that a certain somebody was allegedly in the chat that that person has made an appearance. So I did hear that, now, again, with that, I am the one thing I am curious about with that statement too is that sure? I mean, anybody can claim to be a person online too. So are we 100% that that's them as well? I'm curious about it. I didn't see that part, it's been a kind of a crazy day, but Emma, also thank you again. Appreciate this. And also Anthony, thank you as well, my friend. Travis, thanks for the 5. Dad's cancer's back, man. Well, I hate to hear that, brother. I hate to. You guys doing okay with that? I know it's a heavy load, man. It's a heavy load, but, and again, if you're carrying that and it becomes difficult, man, again, I encourage you to reach out to a professional. That's not some people hear that and they think it's, trying to offload process, but it's not. I mean, sometimes there are moments when things just get so heavy that you need somebody else involved. So, but you finished 3 chapters already. That's awesome, man. It's absolutely awesome. In Caldwell County, Texas, they call it judge, the Yahtzee judge. I did end up jailed, but oh well. Yeah, well, you know what? When you have that stuff go on, did you learn from it? Did you learn like to not do certain things? It sounds, in your life, obviously you did. These people, the problem with a lot of what these people do is they don't learn from anything. Like that kind of blows my mind. Out of anything that goes on, most people do. Most people learn from their mistakes. And either that or they're just career criminal pieces of shit. I mean, some of these people, you can decide what they are or not. But, oh, man, all these comments. What in the world? These people, man. Wow, that's lovely. Yeah, I love when people capture commentary about how they're going to, good Lord, about how they're going to make false claims about how Hales is connected to cartels and stuff. That's really stupid to say out loud. Yeah. Idiot. I love that too. It's older because it's funny because when they say things. So there's a post that Melissa put up about an hour ago that's just wild. I'm gonna screenshot and show you all through tomorrow. God, yes, indeed. Rational diversions. Yes, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Indeed, these people are the perfect example of it. This shit show. People will have a lot of fun, I think, watching play out. There are a lot of folks that I think are going to see this and it's kind of going to blow their minds, because as it gets crazier and crazier. I've been saying for a while, like these people, they scammed a lot of money and there's been no reckoning for it yet, but it always happens. So it'll be interesting to see it play out. And it's going to get bigger from that. Hey, what's up? Wheat Toast, West Coast. Thank you for the 5 giftos there. Good to see you too, Wheat Toast, as always. Appreciate you, my friend. I love it. I love seeing Wheat Toast there. Cruise ship mama. Cruise ship. It's funny. Thanks for the 5. Today was the meeting of the new lawyers. Yeah, Tuesday's the creditor meeting. Okay, so today was the meeting for the new law. Okay. Yeah, so they have to, before anything can get going and anybody can be looked into and stuff, they actually have to bring the new lawyers in. So that makes sense, This stuff's about to get wild. Yeah, they've been talking about this for the better part of, well, really, a year and a half about money and other craziness. I mean, they've been bragging about it forever, saying that there would never be a problem. Isn't it wild? Christine, thanks for the tip. First birthday as a member, 60th actual birthday. Well, you know what they say about birthdays around here, right? They say, happy, happy birthday
From both of us to you. Happy, happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy, happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy, happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Productive years, great ones, and happy 60th day. I hope it has been a great one. Man, I love being able to celebrate people's birthdays. I love celebrating people's milestones there and having, these personal moments. You share a holiday, like, hey, I got this thing, we're going to give people presents or whatever, but having something that is uniquely you, I think it's a beautiful thing. Travis, thanks for the tip. Got an appointment for that. Been drinking a lot more. That's good, man. First of all, not the drinking part, but the having an appointment to talk to somebody about what's going on. Because with the drinking, like, again, that's been a coping skill. It's a negative coping skill, but it's still a coping skill. It's how you learn to cope with things, and you need somebody to probably help you find a better way of dealing. And I mean, we all have, there are a lot of negative ones out there. It reminds me, like the example, punching a wall is a coping skill, but it's not a good coping skill for you, your hand, the wall, and it's the same thing with drinking. It's a coping skill, but we need something better to take its place. So somebody helping you out, that'd be great, man. Because I appreciate that, and it takes a lot sometimes. As a guy, especially, I think it takes a lot sometimes to really drop your guard and go and talk. So I know in my own life, it's hard for me to ever admit I need help. And Shelley, what's up? Thanks for the 5. The 10th meeting is mediation with Dan Owens. Today was with a new banker. Okay. I couldn't remember. There's so many meetings. There's so many cases. I need to create another calendar. Like I need not an online calendar. I need a physical calendar that I hang up here, and write down dates so I can just look at it and remember what something's about. And Travis, thanks for the 2. No, went right back in short sleeve and shell. Of course, being obstinate. Well, become smarter over time, right? Sometimes though, I understand the middle finger. I get that as well. I do. But I appreciate you, my friend. Let's see. All right, folks. But I hope everything, like I said, goes good with everyone. Tomorrow we will be back on. Megan should be back. So we'll see how that goes. But appreciate you, folks. And we will be seeing you. Thanks.